Welcome back. In this session, we're going to start arranging our shapes. In the previous session, we finished ripping up our pieces of paper here to create the main shapes for our build a house collage. Okay, so you can kind of see here I've got these different rectangular shapes laid out to make the main portion of our house. Imagine away the windows and imagine away the doors, and you'll just see these large rectangles. If I look at the next example here, likewise you'll see a long rectangle, a tall rectangle, and you'll see a variety of different rectangles. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of those rectangles that we have here and we're going to put them onto our paper to arrange them. First things first, you're going to write your name on your paper. I'm going to write Mr. Lundgren, since that's my name. You write your name and then write your grade number and your homeroom teacher. Okay? Then flip your paper over and we're going to start arranging. So if I just kind of slide my paper underneath here, we're going to take all of these shapes and arrange them on our paper. So arranging them means we're going to set them down and we're going to move them around. This is how you start out a collage. And this is all about balance. So we can either have something that is, symmetrically balanced or asymmetrically balanced. So just to briefly talk about that, if I have a picture that looks like this, it's symmetrical, right? We divide it down the middle. It's kind of red on both sides, orange on both sides. If I go like this, is it symmetrical? No, it isn't. It's asymmetrical, right? Because this one is pointing that way and that one's pointing down. So at this point, you're going to make a decision. Your artistic decision is you can either choose asymmetrical, which is this, where the one side looks different than the other side, or you can choose symmetrical, where one side looks exactly the same as the other side. Okay. Now with that decision in mind, you're making that right now, we're going to start arranging. So I'd say, take the first, maybe the A color, set it up. Maybe take the larger B color and lay it down. Look at that. That looks interesting. You could do it like this. You could set these any direction you like. Maybe that one there. Maybe up here. Maybe down like this, and you're just kind of putting them around to see what they look like. We haven't glued anything down yet. Nothing's set in stone. Nothing's solid. You could even overlap a little bit. If I take this one here and I overlap this red square underneath there, I can turn it into a smaller rectangle. So you're just experimenting. You're going to take the next few minutes to experiment lining up all your pieces of paper to make some kind of general picture. This is the basic design for your house. Okay, one thing I want everyone to do is I want to have just about 2 or 3 fingers from the bottom empty, because that's going to put our grass and stuff in there later. So we want to have all the pieces nicely lined up on the bottom, and then you're stacking, arranging the pieces there. So take a minute and arrange your pieces. Now that you have all your pieces arranged, you're going to just kind of make sure it's final. Give me a thumbs up, and I'm going to walk around and check you off. Once I say, your design looks good, you can start gluing it down. I might come over and I say, this kind of looks awkward here. Maybe we could take this piece and fold it a little bit and rip it one more time. Be a little bit more creative with what we've got. And you could have something like that. Oh, maybe that looks better. I might come over and say, you've got too many shapes. It's kind of awkward. Do this. Do this. Put this one here. And then I'll say, okay, that looks much nicer. Go for it. Is that okay? You'll say yes or no. We'll agree on something, and then you'll glue it down. Okay, so how it's looking now, I'm going to take this composition. I'm going to change it just a little bit. I'm going to put this one back over here. I'm going to put this one right there, and then I'm going to glue this down. Okay, so in the next couple minutes here, I'm going to take my time to glue this down. We'll fast forward this part, and then you can work with me and glue it down as I go. Remember, we've got our tap and glue red topped glue bottles. You might have to tap it, pick off some of the glue, and then you're going to start gluing. I'm going to glue all my shapes at once just to show you. Remember, you want to push down gently and squeeze hard and get a little blob out. You should just need maybe 4, 5, 6 little glue dribbles on each piece. Depending on how long it is, you might need more, you might need less. But what you're doing is you're going to glue on the back of all of the pieces, and then you're going to flip them over so that they are looking the right way. Because if I glue these down differently, it's going to make them look weird if I have it symmetrical and I kind of glue the wrong side. That might look a little weird. Or if I have it asymmetrical, that might look weird too. Okay, my last two shapes here. And now I start flipping them over. So as you flip them over, make sure that you're being careful and you're holding them down nicely and making sure they're nicely and evenly glued down, so you have the spaces nicely put together. Okay, take this one, glue it down like that. Take this one, I'm going to slide it underneath ever so slightly so it's a little shorter. So I'm still being a little creative and manipulating things a little bit, which is nice. Flip this one over. And this one I have to be a little careful of because I overlapped that piece. So I'm going to actually take this out, flip this one over so it's in the right place, and then glue this one down like that so that it's glued underneath there. Okay, because remember that's a little bitty piece and it's kind of overlapped underneath there. Take this one, flip it over, line it up. One important thing that's going to be on your self-evaluation, don't leave any gaps in between your buildings on the first floor. Okay, on the second floor you can have, or the third floor there, you can have a little gap, but let's not have a bunch of gaps on the first floor as you arrange your house. And as I come around, I'll tell you and remind you not to have any gaps on that first floor. Okay, but here we go, finishing my last piece. So I have my A and my B pieces nicely glued down into a composition. Okay, so there we are. We've arranged our A piece and our B pieces on the paper. You've done some experimenting, figuring out whether you want a symmetrical picture where everything looks the same on one side and the other side, or if you want asymmetry where it looks different on one side than it does on the other side. Okay, so the goal of this next work time here is to arrange your paper. Give me a thumbs up so I know you're ready. I'll check it, and then you'll glue it down, and this will be done for today's session.